guys, hopefully you're having a great day. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. Now if you're like me and you have an older boat, a lot of times you want to upgrade it so it's just like the new ones and everything. One of those must-have items that you want to put in it is an onboard charger. I did that with mine. It's an awesome thing. I mean, it's basically, like I said, almost a must-have because it makes charging your batteries way easier than what it used to be. The one bad thing is if it wasn't installed at a factory, even sometimes if it was, they don't really have a place to put the plug. So like with mine, I have to leave my back lid open to keep my charger plugged in. That's not really good, if you're out fishing a tournament somewhere, if it's a multiple day event, you're on the road, you're at a hotel, a lot of times you're going out to eat as soon as you come back in or going to grab something, and you have to leave your back storage open with, whatever you might have in there. That's really not a good situation for me. I don't like doing that. So what I decided to do is go out and purchase this through hull fitting from Pro Mariner. It's going to allow me to put my plug in there. I'm going to show you guys how to install it coming up here in a second. Alright guys, so when you're getting ready to do this, you're going to need a few basic tools. Those being a drill with the correct size hole saw. Obviously check your instructions to make sure that you're using the correct size. I would even go as far as to cut through a test piece, like a piece of plywood or something, just to make sure that it's correct, because there's not a whole lot of room for error on these. I've already went ahead and did that, so I'm good to go. A few other things you're going to need. The drill bit set. Doesn't need to be this big, just need something so you can pre-drill for the small screws to hold it in. A screwdriver to put those screws in. And then for setup, you might need a tape measure depending on your application, but you probably want some masking tape and a pencil or pen so you can mark the holes in the surrounding area. So that's all you have for tools in this. Like I said, it's not real involved. The biggest thing is people have issues cutting holes in their boat. I hear you on that, but as long as you take your time, go through everything and the correct steps, you're gonna be okay. Alright guys, now that we got the tools out of the way, we're gonna move on to layout. You gotta figure out where you want to mount this sucker. Places I don't recommend: on the back side of your boat, on the outside gun walls, on the top of your gun wall, because these aren't 100% waterproof. Yeah, they have a rubber thing or a rubber cap that fits in it, but like I said, it's not going to keep all the water out. So you don't want it somewhere where it's constantly getting hit with water because it's going to let it into your boat. Obviously it's going to be on your charging cable all the time then too, and that's not a good situation either. Some people like to mount them in their splash wells. If it's in a good suitable location, that's fine. Mine, for the design of it, it just has too many curves in there. Other places I've seen them mounted right in the center, which would be a good spot too, other than mine doesn't have enough room here. So I'm just going to move mine off to the side. And actually with mine too, the charging cord is not quite long enough to make it all the way over here. So I'm going to add a little bit of an extension in there. You probably, for your application, you might not need to do that, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with that as well. So after you have figured out where you're going to put it, obviously check to make sure there's no clearance issues on the back side. You're not drilling through wires, hoses, anything like that, any sort of support. You don't want to do that. This spot right over here is nice and open. There's not even any foam right behind it, so I'm in the clear. The next step, you want to come in and lay it out. So that's what that masking tape was for. We'll give you a little up close view here. You see I traced around the outside. I don't know if you can see the little dots here on the outside. That's the holes for the screws. And then I also found the center of the circle. That's where I'm going to put the center of the drill bit for the hole saw. And that's going to cut the hole for me. It's a moment of truth, guys. Time to cut a hole in my boat. Alright guys, if your guys' boats are fiberglass, one thing you always want to make sure you do is clean up this dust before it gets airborne. Might even be a good idea to wear a respirator if it's a little windy outside. Maybe even if it's not, still might be a good idea, because this is kind of like glass, and if you breathe it in too much, it'll actually cut you from the inside, and that's not good. So make sure as soon as you get done cutting it, get out a shop vac, whatever, clean up the mess right away, and it's going to be a lot better in the long run. Alright guys, the scariest part is over now. We got the hole cut. It fits in there like it's supposed to. It's really snug. Like I said before, there's not a whole lot of room for error on here. If this is the inside of your hole or outside of your hole, that's where the screws go in. You want to make sure that you're not using the hole saw that's too big, because then your screws won't go into hold. So all that's left is to drill the pilot holes for the screws that hold this in, and then to install it correctly. Alright guys, we're pretty close to wrapping this up here. The only things there are to do left, I'm going to yank the tape off of here. The cord goes in the little slot for the onboard charger, and then that gets screwed into the back of the whole pass-through. Okay, and then you're just going to stick that, put it in the hole, put your screws in. We already have the holes drilled, I showed you that already. One thing I'm going to do, because this is a little bit short, and there are a lot of times you're at a, whether you're staying at a motel or whatever, you wish you had just a little bit more reach with your extension cord. It always seems like it's not quite long enough. What I actually did is went out and bought a short, little 10-foot outdoor extension cord. And what I'm going to do is take this back out of here and put the plug for the extension cord in instead, and then just hook it in. I got a nice little clear area back here, so the cord can just go and lay in there. And that way, if I do need that little bit extra reach, I can go ahead and pull this out and get that little bit more reach that I need. So that pretty much wraps it up for this install. I'm going to be doing a few more boat upgrade videos in the near future, so make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you like this video or had any questions that you need to know an answer to, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. My social media is in the description, as well as the products that I used for this upgrade. And until next time guys, God bless and good luck on the water.